For the past 2 weeks, airlines operating in Nigeria have faced difficulty in obtaining aviation fuel known as Jet A1 at the right price and in the quantity demanded. The hardest hit are domestic carriers. Industry stakeholders believe that a quick intervention is necessary, as besides influencing the cost of air tickets, the high price of aviation fuel has implications on safety, because in the bid to recoup lost, airlines may be tempted to toy with the extension of maintenance dates. Let's now speak with, to talk about the situation further and share possible solutions. Is joining me, former National President, Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, Isaac Balami. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this hour. What would you adduce to the reason for the sudden hike of Jet A1, and what other alternatives are there for us to explore so that we will find lasting solutions to this?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Of course, we all know that the crisis, the war going on in Ukraine and Russia is one of the major reasons why we're having scarcity of Jet A1, and the price is quite high. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, our local airlines have to pay that amount of money, between 600 to 700 naira per liter. And of course, and it's also tied to the fact that our refineries locally, even though we have the crude oil, but our refineries are actually not producing Jet A1, which is a major issue as well. I could remember clearly, as a member of the National Carrier Committee set up by the government of Nigeria in 2016, the then GMD of NNPC, told the committee that it is possible for Warri or Kaduna refinery to produce Jet A1 at the cost of 50 naira then. And I could remember clearly then that I was in aero contractors with about 9 to 10 aircraft flying across Nigeria. About 800 million naira was being spent every month to buy Jet A1 at about 200 naira per liter then. So you can imagine, if Aero was to buy at, let's say, 100 naira, Aero would have been saving about 400 million. That money, if Aero had saved in the last 10 years, would have been enough to rescue aero contractors into something better than what it is now. Now, that is the impact of Jet A1. Just to let you know that if an airline can spend as much as 800 million naira every month some years back, now that number has now even tripled, if not even quadruple. So the challenge we're having here is the airlines are bleeding currently, and there's no way they can actually survive this.
Absolutely, Mr. Balami. Well, I think there is an agreement among the airline operators that there should be some should be allowed to import this fuel, and others, and the fact that they should also begin to sell for 500 naira per liter. Has this been achieved at the end of the day? And then, if this is not achievable, what are the possibilities there that the sector might, at the end of the day, crumble?
Well, you see, to be very, very frank with you, as an aviator, being around for the number of years, to be very, very honest with you, even at 500 naira, the airlines will not be able to survive it. That is the truth. That could just be maybe a short time, measure. But trust me, when you talk about the airline operators of Nigeria getting licensed to import, I don't think the airline operators of Nigeria in the next 6 months or 1 year will be able to meet up with the requirement of DPR to get a license. We all know what Jet A1 is. This is something that goes on a live aircraft, and the infrastructure, the structure that has to be on ground, the fan tanks, first of all, they need to go to fan because now they will be competing with the oil marketers. So there's going to be issues because, you see, even to build a fan tank, it takes years, at least 1 to 2 years to build a good fan tank. Then you now need to, certify it, get approval from DPR, get the license, and then begin to import.
All that being said, sorry to butt in, Mr. Balami.
Yes.
All that being said, what would you be advocating as a lasting solution to this quagmire that we find ourselves in this sector?
I think in the meantime, you see, aviation, to be honest with you, the best airlines in the world struggle to make between 5 to 10% profit a year. The best airlines in the world. And Nigerian airlines are nowhere near there. So in the first place, the airlines are not even making profit. They are struggling. But look at airlines like Emirates. You could imagine when Arik was flying to Dubai. Arik was buying fuel in Nigeria at $1. But Emirates, that is competing with Arik on the same route, was buying fuel for 15 cents. Now that is about 85% gap already. So Arik can't even compete. And that is how Arik was pushed out of Dubai. Or I would say one of the major reasons why Arik could not compete with Emirates on the Dubai route. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's a need for the sake of, we have bad roads now. People can't travel by road. There's Boko Haram.
Could you do that in a nutshell? Because of our time.
Option, yeah. So in a nutshell, the government needs to subsidize Jet A1 for the airlines immediately, so that people can afford flight tickets and the economy will bounce back. Because with this now, there's no movement. People can't travel because the ticket fare will definitely go up. And trust me, Nigerians can't afford that.
Right. The bottom line of your advocacy is that government should subsidize the Jet A1 fuel and make, to ease the affairs in the aviation sector. Former National President, Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, Isaac Balami, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.